Hey guys, it's Kayla back again with another video. I wasn't going to post this video because it didn't work out at all, but I figured in the end I'm going to post it just in case anybody decides to try the same cheap way that I did, just to show that it simply doesn't work. Now, I got my fuse tool not long ago. I purchased it from Studio Calico and I got it on sale. It was on sale, I believe, $19.99, and I had a discount code for I think 25% off. However, the only one they had at the time, or the only one that was on sale was the European version with Australian plug. I said, no big deal, I will order it in, I'll get the adapters from Amazon and it'll still work, because pretty much everything else still works when I do that. So as I'm setting everything up, I plug it in, I open the package, which you see here, and then I plug it in. I noticed that it's different shape compared to the ones that I've seen being used in other videos, other tutorials. And at first I thought, okay, maybe it's strange, maybe I got an older model or it's a different model, I'm not sure. So I unpacked it out, I screwed the little nib in. The stand was near impossible to have the tool actually stand on, because it didn't have the extra shield on the front of it. But I said, okay, I'll give it a try. Either way, I mean, I got it for a great price. In the end, I think it was under $15 for the tool itself, and the adapters costed a few dollars, which sucks because now I have them for nothing. But either way, I let it heat up, I let it heat up, I let it heat up, and while I was letting it heat up, I went on with the card. So I'll explain the card part now, and I'll get back to the fuse in a moment. So I had these square cards. They have been kicking around my house for ages. I'm not even sure where I got them. I think I picked them up at a yard sale one time. And I'm just going to cut out a large circle. And I'm using the second largest die, circle die from this set, because I intended to use the largest die as my pattern to trace with the fuse tool to get a circle pocket, because this is going to be a shaker card. So after I cut out the second smallest or second largest circle, I went back to the fuse tool, and it was still touchable. Like it was warming up, but it was still very cold. So I continued back on with the card and I started stamping. So all the stamped images on this card are from Honeybee Stamps. This is the Beautiful Life stamp set, and I'm using the sentiment Throw Kindness Around Like Confetti in the center with my Hero Arts black dye ink, and I'm also going to just put some confetti on the inside of it and some of the sketchy hearts on the outside, just to make it not so plain. And I love the simplicity of this card in the end. I really do like it, even though the fuse was a very big disappointment that it didn't work out and I had to improvise. And you'll see my improvisation is completely, it looks nice on the outside, but if you open the card you can clearly tell where the error was made. So I'll be making another version of this one in the future, not so crappy. So as I'm stamping the card, every now and again I'd stop and I'd check my fuse tool, and I'd see it was getting a little bit warmer each time. I did haul out my phone at one point. Right there you'll see I checked somebody else's version of how it works or whatnot, and to me it was still not working. I tried it on 3 different kinds of plastic, thinking, okay, at first maybe just my page protector wasn't the right material perhaps. Didn't seem to work. And then I had a plastic bag that an embellishment kit had come in from Studio Calico, and I figured I would try that. That didn't work either. It was thinner plastic. That was the worst of them all. And then I had some thicker plastic that was packaging from one of my embossing folders. I figured I'd try that. None of them worked. And at this point I was getting very frustrated because the machine wasn't getting hot. You could see it was indenting the plastic, but it wasn't melting it or fusing it like it's supposed to do. So I was sitting there thinking something is wrong. And once again, every video I came to, they had a different look to their machine. And it had a separate little shield, I guess, that they could use it to sit on. And mine didn't have that. So that was my first flag. I said, okay, well, I'll just keep trying. So I tried and I tried and I tried. I took a break. I come back. I tried and I tried and I tried. And I think I was tinkering with it for at least 45 minutes. And I didn't film a lot of it because I was trying just to get it to work. And at one point I did think it was working because the plastic had a little bit of resistance when I pulled it apart. Not enough resistance to say that it melted, but it didn't come apart as if it wasn't sealed at all. It came apart as if it was barely sealed. So anyways, it was quite frustrating. So this is when I hollered for the boyfriend, and this is the conversation that we had. Apparently there's a difference between the international one, which I got, and the American one.
Oh, well, you may have the 220 volt.
It says 240 volt.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't work. It won't heat.
No, because you don't.
But I have an adapter.
So, you're not plugged in a 240 volt. You're only having 110 and 20 in there, half the power needed to.
That's why I can still touch it. Like, it's warm, but it's not hot.
Yeah, you just got the half the power.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll have to send it back. Alrighty, good to know. Exactly. Good to know. And I don't know why I didn't think of that, because I knew that. He had told me that before when I went to order something else that had a European plug in it, and he explained it to me. And I said, oh, okay, good to know. And once again, I completely... ignorance, right? Ignorance is bliss. So I didn't know. I sent it back. Well, I'm in process of trying to figure out how to send it back. They don't have a usual return policy, but they do said that they would make an exception for it. I do have to send it back to them, and then they would credit me, and I'd have to reorder the proper one. But I'm thinking now what I might just do is sell this one and purchase the proper one from a local store, because of the fact that if I have another problem, I don't want to have to wait to mail it back, wait a few weeks for them to get it, and then for them to credit me, and then a few weeks for me to get it again. So yeah. So what I did at this point here, I cut out a square of the plastic that would fit inside of there, and because it was a page protector, I decided to use the corner that had two sides already fused. And it was to figure out how to seal it so that I wasn't losing so many sequins down there. And I was going to use my two-way tape, but I couldn't get my two-way tape all the way down. So, being the genius that I am, I grabbed my multi-matte medium and I actually just squeezed some of that down into the corner. And it did a really good job. It's still sealed, but it doesn't look the prettiest, of course. But it sealed that corner, that way no sequins will go into that corner as a waste. And then on the rest of the edges, I used my two-way tape, my adhesive runner. However, after having that all done, adhering it to the card, the hardest part, because not thinking, I do everything on a whim. I didn't put the sequins in before I adhered it to the card. So once I adhered it to the card, it was stuck. So getting the sequins in, I left open maybe an inch opening, and that from there I just dropped in individual sequins, which took a few minutes, but in the end it turned out pretty great, so I'm not mad. Either way, I like the end result, so there it is. There's my photo of it. It looks pretty nice from the front. I did add a couple of little flowers for embellishments, but that was just to kind of get rid of a little bit of the plainness to it. So that's it for today. If you enjoyed, subscribe, check out my blog over at kaylasgood.com, and happy crafting.